first walk, when you first go
Yeah.
in. So,
Okay.
but you're seeing the screen now. So,
Yeah.
right. So, okay,
Okay.
perfect. All
Yeah. And
right.
I see you've taken the tutorial because it's not popping up on you. So, if you want to
Right.
go back and start there, or we can just start here now that you've already had that intro. So,
Let's start here because
okay.
the tutorial was easy enough to walk through, but
Yeah.
I want to kind of get beyond I want to get into the different modes and kind of understand a little bit how they differ and how you kind of work through them.
Okay, cool. Well, you're the first person I get to watch actually play the game. So I
All
hope we
right,
both have a
cool.
good time. Yeah.
Good deal. All right. So what should I do first? What
So it's you've had the tutorial. You can click through any of the definitions here. So you can see
Right,
model, weights, and features all have definitions behind them so that you can
right,
learn what those are. If you scroll your screen so that you can see the sliders and the cards at the same time, then you'll be able to start engaging with that process you saw in the tutorial. And this is just a
right,
sandbox, so there's no goal here. It's really just to show you what happens. So you can just pull on some of the sliders here and you should be able to watch the cards be really
right.
responsive to what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
can see when you move that up and down, it has an effect. When you took the tutorial the first time, everything was set on purpose to zero, just so
Hmm.
you could see, well, if it has higher than zero, it goes all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom if you turn it down. But now that you have some weights changed, you can see it's not going to go all the way to the top, but your ace of spades is highest. And if you look at your sliders, you can see why. And if you hover over the ace of spades, you can also see why. So you get the
Right.
math there. And just so this started probably around 2017-ish. I was walking around Legal Tech with three decks of cards in my backpack, and each one had stickers on the backs of some of the cards with different patterns. And I had just found that attorneys were reluctant to use tar, or it just felt like a black box. And so I said, "You're going to be the machine learning algorithm. Do you want to play a game?" And it was just like this. They would see the cards face up, and we would pick some for it to be training cards so they could see the back. And then they would face up, deal them into a pile of cards they thought were responsive and or had a sticker, and a pile that they thought did not have a sticker. And then they weren't allowed to look at those piles on the back, but I did. And I would tell them how many stickers were in each pile. And so they could sort of see where they were at. And then we could do active learning where they would pick the next round instead of passive, which would have been random. And so we just walked through the steps of what it's like to run a TAR so that they could understand that. And we also could simulate TAR 1 and TAR 2. And I thought that making it tangible for people just made it more interesting. And over the years, things became less in person, and to scale it, I started doing this as like a PowerPoint presentation and having other forms. And people have always responded to it really well because it does seem to help it click into place. So that's the origin of the game. And I just wanted to create it like this so that people could come and try it out. So you can see the like inference process. That's what you're doing here when it applies your model. That's all Sandbox does. We're not learning anything. We're not predicting anything. So if you click on inference there, it'll just sort of explain what that is. So it's just telling you where that math is coming from on the
Gotcha.
weight, and it's taking, one score. And this is very simplified math. We say that that's not at all the different math formulas that get used in real machine learning, but in our model, it helps you get the idea of what's going to happen. And we only have two types of features here, and we have 17 weights total. So this is the most simple model I can come up with for a deck of playing cards. Although it's
Okay.
kind of, yeah, fun when I have done this on PowerPoint and I ask people like, what features could we use to predict this card? I've even had people point at my bad skills at clipping the image, and they're like, well, some of them appear to have a separate edge around the
Yeah.
cards, and but I'm like, that's good, like that could be in real life,
Right.
like something like that could be an indicator, but we're just going to focus on the suit and the number.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Now with what you've got here being it automated, you don't have to worry about that. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so
uh,
something else you could try is turning off auto inference.
Okay.
So, you're familiar with continuous active learning, and even that is not instantaneous, but there can be different amounts of time in any TAR workflow in how often we update our model. And so we can
Right.
do it every single turn, which is continuous, which is what you had before, or we can turn it off. So now when you hit apply, it's showing you where they are, but it's not moving them.
Right.
Now, if you
Mhm.
hit apply model, they're all going to jump around at once. And so that is what happens when we refresh our model with the new labels that have been applied to documents.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great.
Okay. So you want
So
to play a game?
yeah, let's do it. All
All
right.
right. So
So
there,
we'll start
yeah.
easy. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right. So build a model to predict which cards likely have stars, easy mode, one feature. Okay. All right. Okay. Um, all right. Got
Yeah. So
that.
some cards, just because you see one ace and it has a star doesn't mean all aces have stars, but it might. So that's what
Right.
this is saying. We're going to learn about data not always being perfect. So you can
Gotcha.
go ahead and start. All
All
right.
right.
So you've got a good lead. This is easy mode, so it should be pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously I see that the nine has a star.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming I'm going to want to, so do I basically slide the nines forward
It could be nines. It's probably not hearts because you have a
or it could be
king of
hearts.
hearts
Yeah, you're right.
that,
The king
that
doesn't
but the
have it.
king of
Right.
hearts doesn't have one. But
Right.
we know also there's some data that's going to lie. There's not a lot of it, but there's going to be.
Good.
So, maybe that's the fluke nine, maybe that's the fluke heart, but probably nine is a really good guess. So you can move those up.
So,
In your
we're-
tutorial, it told you how well you were doing. But we're not going
right.
to tell you until you train at least two more times here, just so that you get the experience. So you should go
All right.
back up now. Oh, and turn on auto inference. Turn that back on.
Okay.
There
All
you go.
right. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And so now hit more training data on the top right there. All right. So you can still see your other cards. And now
All
I
right.
think you know
Another
what the
nine.
pattern is going to be.
Right, exactly. Yes, I see it. Obviously, another
Yeah.
nine is up
So
there. I have now, let's see, with my, yeah, so I predicted the nines, and I guess I've got a six in here for some
yeah.
reason.
Well,
So,
because so all the blue cards here are tied because you haven't moved anything else. So
right,
if you actually click that tied scores blue tile right there, it'll kind of explain that if you want those cards to get ranks, you would have to move them around. But this is easy mode, and frankly, you don't
right.
have to. You just have to beat all of those. So one of them, it's just saying they're not all in any order. So your six is random because it's
Gotcha.
just all of the other ones.
That makes
Um,
sense.
yep.
All
So.
right.
Okay, so
Um,
you have two choices now, Doug. One is you could just finish and get your results, or if you want to be able to see what's in that box that kind of tells you how you're doing. Okay, so yeah, and you got them all. They're all at the top. So good
right,
job. And now what you can do is we were using a five card threshold. That's a cutoff. But you can move that threshold with that slider and see now they're all going to be essentially they become false positives once we
right,
include them in our found group. If you had a little bit more diversity in where your cards were landing. Now you can see there's one outlier in there. That was
right.
the you weren't going to catch that unless we go
Unless
way
I
out
went
to
really far,
there you
yes.
go. Right. But it
Gotcha.
changes what is in your categories. So you
Hmm.
can see your recall right under there is 80. And
Right,
if you did go out that far, it would jump up to 100% recall.
right. Right. Precision drops the more you review
That's right.
because
Yeah.
you're reviewing a lot of false positives.
That's
Are
exactly
you? Yeah.
right. Yeah. And then you can see that I hate confusion matrices because I think they are confusing and it's hard to get all of this information, but it is a tool that is used to report the different buckets of true positives and false positives and so on. So that is
Right.
also dynamic. So the more you like, if you capture that 10 of hearts, this will all adjust. And as you move it out, they will change. So it's going to show you which ones are which on each side of the threshold. So you can really get a feel for like what's a false positive and what's a false negative.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
All
Um,
right.
so I don't know if you want to try like a difficult game. It will be more difficult.
All
It's at the
right.
bottom now.
Okay.
Advanced.
Uh, okay. Let's do advanced.
Okay.
Right.
So you're
And
gonna go
I
get your train.
apologize. They're vacuuming upstairs, so if you're hearing a rumble, that may be why.
Okay. I have the same situation right now, but I don't hear anything on your end.
Okay, good. All
All
right.
right.
So basically, at this point, I have these four. Ace of clubs has a star, but we also have one other ace, so it's not necessarily aces that I'm looking for. It could be clubs,
Yeah.
right?
But you
So
have a club too.
yes, I do have a club. So there you go.
So
It's
maybe
kind
you
of
just want some more training data is what I would
right.
do. Oh, and
There we
something is
go.
going to get turned down in this one, Doug. So even if it is like all aces, but the four is the thing you turn down, that's going to take the four out. Or sorry, if it's all clubs, then if clubs are positive, then if you turned four down, you could yank out the four of clubs, and that might need to
Gotcha.
be something right that would happen because you would accept that. So that's
Okay.
that's this one has both ways that you need to move the sliders. It's pretty hard. Like I don't, and it'll
hmm
start giving you hints once you get past a certain number of steps because I expect people to kind of want that feedback.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So far I've seen an ace of clubs with a star and a two of spades with a star. So I haven't seen any other twos. So I could conceivably put things up, or I could do more training data, which it seems like I need to because I don't really have a definitive pattern yet,
Yeah, it's
right?
early. It's early, I would say.
Right. Oh, now we've got three. Okay.
Okay.
So all right. So, looks like we have a second ace with a star. We've got a couple of diamonds with stars. We also have a three of spades. So interesting. Starting to see some things here, but I'm still not entirely sure. I could kind of sense a pattern at this point. So I
Yeah.
guess I'd go another round.
You should go, yeah, because you'll get more feedback. And then
Right.
also you can see we have this one divided out a little differently. So it'll tell you um like how that one is doing as well. So when
hmm
we get through more steps, it'll tell you if you have stars in that bottom category too to help you pick the
Gotcha.
right thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And it's saying three more turns and more training data to see results so far. So I guess I could do those three more turns and more training data
Sure.
to get a sense of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Another two. So we have multiple twos and threes and aces.
Yeah, this
Um,
one's definitely a tricky one.
yeah.
I
A
like the
three.
twos for this. Yeah.
Okay. Almost all the threes are there, so I feel like I can be confident I can move the threes up
Yeah.
at this point. So that's definitely one I would say. We have a king. That's our first king. We do have a couple of twos. I might move that up a bit. And aces, so I might move those up a bit, even though not all the aces are that way. Maybe I should move one back since I did find at least one. Well, yeah, I guess it's gonna predict star, even though I've already seen it, seen one that isn't a star. Where was that? Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna. Okay,
Yeah.
so one more
Okay.
turn.
So, and what you're
I
doing
think
right
so.
now, Doug, that's induction. And that's where
Okay.
you are playing the AI tool. And
Mhm.
that's the main point of this game is that you're
Okay.
learning induction, but you already know induction. Everything we do all the time based on observed patterns in the world is
Right.
induction. We're just learning to apply it to data exactly the way a machine does with weights. When that's the new concept to learn here.
Okay. All right. Now I could keep
You're
going.
doing great. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I could keep going, or at a certain point I could finish to see, and it would give
You
me
could
the same kind
finish.
of.
I think in
Yeah.
about two more turns, it'll give you hints on like, well,
Okay.
you might want to turn the four up, or
I
you're
see.
not stuck. You're doing great. But if someone got stuck, it would start to give them hints right to the right of that eight out
Gotcha.
of 12.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. But I mean,
Okay.
you're good. You could stop here if you want.
Okay. Voila. Okay. And
All
then I
right.
see, yeah, and then I see, just like I did before, which ones are my true positives, which ones are my false negatives, which are my false positives, and so forth. Yeah. And then of
Yeah.
course 36 true negatives. So basically looks I was looking for 12 total, I got 8, so 67% recall, 67% precision, of course, makes perfect sense. And then of course as I were if I were to go down, eventually I'd hit, another one of those and another and and finally get to the final group there.
Yeah. And if you go down to that improve your model, you can actually
Hmm.
change the cards. So make sure you can see the cards while you drag it.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
it's showing you what to, the hearts were the thing that needed to go down. So you can drag the hearts down and get those out of there. So that's going to especially improve your precision, I think.
Well, does it automatically do
Okay,
it?
it's because you moved the thresholds from what
Oh,
it
is
would
that
normally be,
oh,
but
is that
that's
what I
okay.
did?
And then you can turn the five up. It wants you to turn up the five there. Okay,
Right.
so now, yeah, so
Oh,
now
yeah, then it
there
did it
you
for
go.
everybody. Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the game.
All right.
And then there's a generative AI tutorial. And so, it's recommended that which you have that people play the games before because it builds on these basic concepts of that's kind of very base pattern recognition in a machine learning model. So now let's see how it then becomes really complicated in generative AI.
Okay, so you want me to click on the see
Yeah,
how?
yep, you're ready.
All right. Okay. All right. 2 feet. All right. So
Most of
that's
this is
good.
just a click through. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All
Yeah, it'll
right.
be fast. This is
Wait.
quick.
All right. Okay. Worse. All right. Models have, yes, many more weights. Okay. Frontier LLM trillions, truly. So, all right.
So,
Yep.
like attention is a really important concept. I didn't want it to get too technical, but I wanted to just show how it's going to look at the specific words that precede what came in there so that
Mm-hmm.
you can understand that that's all going to play a role in what happens next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very well done here. Okay.
So
I
you
literally,
can just for fun, so you're looking and you see that like bank and deposit affect what the word is. So you can actually change the word and the picture will change too. Just it's a little silly, but it's kind of fun.
so
So
you mean, so if I click, what do I do? I just try
yeah,
a
go
different
ahead. You
sentence?
can click votes. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, if I say cash, I have
That's
to
the
call that
same. So
cash,
which is
right?
truly something that happens is we can have the
Right.
same thing.
But I'm not going to deposit fish. Yes, she's a little confused there. Definitely confused with boats and water. Yes. So
Yeah.
very
And
nice.
then
And then try a
there's
different
another
sentence.
sentence that has a different meaning for bank. And so you can
Right.
get different types of things happening here.
Right. Boats, fish, yes, water, yes, very much. Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. Uh-huh.
All
Nice.
right, so do the next one.
Okay. All right. And then,
So
right, prediction. Yes. So let's click on that so we can get that out there. Because that's definitely one of the things as we're doing this now, I'm thinking, well, I'll have a little bit of write-up. Maybe we put this video up as part of the blog post.
you sure
Um,
can, and there is a video already. It's
okay.
30 seconds. I sent you the YouTube link, and I have it's essentially the same version that I'm going to post on LinkedIn when I announce this, and we
Okay.
can talk about timing so that we're in sync. But the only difference in the videos is that the one I'll put on LinkedIn says that the link is in the comments on the last bit of it, but otherwise it's the same video.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. So run the prediction and boom. All right. Deposit money. Yes. Many layers. There you go. Transformer, which of course is the T in Chat GPT. Very nice. Um, all right. Predict
Okay,
the
so this
next
is
one.
going to be three iterations. So just
Oh,
hit predict the next word a few times, and it's just to show the output as input that goes into this auto-regressive form. I stayed away from some of the terminology, but like this form of
mhm,
how the LLMs work, where they're just putting the last output as an entirety in to get the new input.
mhm. Gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Very
And
nice.
then if you're okay, yeah. And then so then we're talking about the loops, and that was LLMs or next token predictors, but that's different than generating images, which work on diffusion. So this is just about sort of separating the different types. So you can click each box just for a little, like, I mean, it's just for fun, but
Okay.
Like the once that is blinking, you can just kind of click your way through, and these are the next token predictors,
Hmm.
and then diffusion and
Cool. Very
yeah.
nice.
So that's it. And then it would give you an option in this next page here to go back to anywhere you just were in the tutorial or to go back to the game.
Hmm. Okay. Cool. Very cool.